Okay. Welcome to The Anxious Woman. It is Flag Day. It's rainy. It's gray. It's all the things. My name is Poet. Welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, thanks for coming back and spending a little bit of time with me. I've got what's left of my coffee. I'm going to make this pretty short because we have to go out. It's almost 4:45 in the afternoon, and we have to go out and run some errands. We already both got our walk in. We have the treadmill right there. We each did a 30-minute walk. George did his at 2.5 speed. I did mine at 2.3 because, we're just getting started with the treadmill. I mean, we walk every day, but the treadmill is a whole different animal. I got in 3,322 steps. I did 1.1 mile, which again, it's a beginning. Burned 113 calories. It's a beginning. He got his half hour in. I also changed the bedding today because it's the every other Saturday. I changed bedding, remade the bed, did a load of laundry, got it all done, put away. And then we finished painting the upstairs doors. So all the doors upstairs are done. The only doors we didn't do were the 3 closet doors, and we're on the fence as to whether or not we're going to even do them. But the 3 bedroom doors are this color blue, both sides. And the bathroom door is this color. And then the linen closet door is the burnt orange that I talked about, I think, in another video. That I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I did it, and it looks amazing. I have to get a new shower curtain because the shower curtain that was up there was no longer appropriate for our family life, and I asked that it be removed and put in the dumpster. Well, it was put in the dumpster. It just was difficult for me to kind of see and deal with because it was the French Paris Eiffel Tower one, and I know that he had taken his ex on vacation a long time ago there, and it just bothered me. I'm sorry. So we have a really nice gray shower liner, but I'm going to get something that's going to tie in with the painting that's up there, with the rug that's outside of the shower, the little throw rug, and then the burnt orange door. So I know what colors I'm looking for. So I want to try to find a shower curtain that's going to fit, and maybe a sheer. If I can't find a sheer, I'm going to leave it as it is. And then if I can find a hand towel, a small hand towel. Right now I have I think it's a blue one hanging there. I want to get something, either an orange or a brown, something that's more going to tie in with all the other colors. Okay, that being said, I started to go into the whole thing with the mural. We bought a mural for the wall, you know that. Then we talked about, do we keep it or not keep it? Because a few people have said that they're really difficult to do. We decided to send it back, and then because it's such a distance, because it's so heavy, the gentleman who sent it to us from Poland said, just pay for the shipping, which is $10, and keep the mural. So that tells me that we're meant to have the mural, and we're meant to put the mural up. So that's the next project. That's that. So we have to go over to the Dollar Zone to see if we can find a little flower arrangement, an artificial flower arrangement for George's father's gravesite for Father's Day tomorrow. And then pop over to Home Depot to get some tubing, and I'll tell you why in a minute, some PVC tubing, and a brush for the mural. You have to brush down, and he needs some wood for his next painting for the stretcher bar. And then go into Walmart to get the shower curtain, the towel, the sheer for the window, maybe paper towel, napkins and milk and cream cheese and a container of wet wipes for him to take to art class with him. That's what we're going for. I want to show you real quick. My friends know someone who has UTI issues. Now, I went through the whole antibiotic. I went through 8 days of antibiotics. I retested. I still tested positive for a UTI. So my friend told me that his person takes these two things, doctor recommended, and it's a 90-day supply. It's on the high side as far as cost, but when you break down by month, it's not as bad, and it's for 2 products. It's like $165 every 3 months. So since she's been taking these 2 things, she has not had any issues with a UTI at all. So I just want to show you now. I'm not saying to take these. I'm not advocating these. I'm not saying that this is what you should do. I'm saying this is what I'm doing. Okay? Just know that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not anything. I'm just a woman who has recurrent UTIs, and it's frustrating. So I'm going to give this a try because it works. It's working for someone else who has the same chronic condition. So the first thing are these cranberry supplement capsules. You take 1 a day with food, and they're big. They're like this. Look like that. And they're a capsule, so I can open it up. I can put the powder into like a little bit of cottage cheese, and I can just eat it because I have a hard time swallowing this. I took one this morning. I got it down, but it was a little rough. It contains 500 milligrams of whole cranberry extract with at least 36 milligrams of soluble PACs per capsule. So we're going to try these for 90 days. I'm also seeing my doctor on the 27th, so I'm going to run all this by her. And the second thing are these Manos 1. I've read a ton of stuff about these, and there's 90 packets in here. Same company, Theralogics, and the packets are like this. They're individual, and then you just put these in hot or cold drink as long as it's not carbonated, and you do 1 a day. So I did 1 this morning, and I took the capsule. I'm praying this works for me. So there's 90 of them in the package, and then the bottle's full to the top. Because I can't keep suffering like this. It's too much for me. I had a severe BPD relapse the night before last. It started with issues here at the house with the painting and the colors of the door, and it's crazy how some things are triggers for us, those of us who have a BPD diagnosis. And so I went into an episode, I'm going to call it that lasted about 12 hours, maybe a little more. And a couple of my friends kind of helped me to get through it, along with George, even though he's still learning about these kind of things. And a couple people have asked me along the way what it feels like to have a BPD diagnosis. And for the most part, 99.9% of the time, I don't have any episodes of it at all. But there's just certain things that, like, one thing will trigger my brain, because it's a brain disease. And it's that one thing I will go down a rabbit hole, and one thing becomes 20 things. And it's really difficult for me. And it's difficult for people around me. So I will just spend a whole video one day just talking about borderline personality disorder, which is now called something like mood regulation disorder, because it's not a personality disorder, it's a mood regulation disorder. So the scary part about this diagnosis is it's one of the most difficult in the psychiatric line to have. 7 out of 10 people who are diagnosed unalive themselves because of the severity of the signs and symptoms, the way things come out, the way our brains see things. So if someone would say something mean or unkind to someone with a non-BPD brain, it would be hurtful, but for those of us, we feel it 1,000 times stronger, more than the average person. We feel loss 1,000 times deeper. We feel love 1,000 times stronger. We feel sadness and fear and abandonment issues 1,000 times stronger than the average person without the diagnosis. So I will spend some time, because a few people have asked me over the years, like, what does it feel like to have that diagnosis, and what can be done for it, and is there a cure? DBT, the dialectal behavioral therapy, there's a lot of books out there, and that's usually what a therapist will work with you on. And the therapist that I've had over the years, especially my 5-year therapist, Alex said, I'm never ever going to talk with you and label you with a diagnosis. I'm just going to talk with you and help you through whatever you're going through. For me, because there's been so much abandonment in my life, that's the big one. And then a lot of change in my life, which I never could catch up with and get used to. With George and I were talking about this earlier. We were talking about elementary school, and he went to the same elementary school through his whole elementary life, where I went to 4 different elementary schools. I was moved from one, and that building was condemned, and they sent me to another one on a bus because of the distance of where the school was. They had to take all the students in the whole school, and they had to divide us up amongst other schools, right? And so the school that they sent me to, I had to go on a bus, and then my parents moved, and then I went to another school, and then my parents moved again, and I went to another school. So I had 4 elementary schools in between kindergarten and 6th grade. So there was never time to get used to anything. There was a lot of change. There was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of fear and uncertainty in me that just continued in through my whole life. And so there's so much that has happened. There's been so much loss in my life that I have yet to catch up with. And so a couple of things happened. It actually started with that green door. My green door is what started my episode. I'm a out-of-the-box thinker. I don't think like other people. I don't like to dress like other people. I don't like, and yes, I was painting too today. I was painting upstairs, and I'm not changing my shirt because I'm just going to go to the Marty wall. And when I painted that door, there, that door, green, I didn't get any favorable responses from the people who saw it. Now, no one said, I hate that green door, or I don't really care for that. No one said that. But what they said was, I really like that blue there and there. I really like that blue, which told me in my brain that they didn't like the green. And I love the green. Like, I love my green door. I also love my orange door. That's my burnt orange door, which is up in the upstairs, and I'll show you that on another video. It's the linen closet door, and I just love it. It gave me that pop of color. So that situation started the episode. That was the trigger. And then it just went from there. It went from one thing to another thing to another thing. Now, George has a sister who did counseling and things like that her whole life. And so I asked her, like, hey, you want to be my personal counselor? And she's been texting me a lot of tips and tricks and pointers and things. And so I'm really appreciative of her, like more than she even knows, but I'm going to let her know it. So I had a really, really hard, like, it started like shortly after noon, the day before yesterday, went in through the evening to bedtime. I fell into a deep sleep because I took something to fall into a deep sleep. And then it stayed until about 1 o'clock the next day, which is kind of unusual for me that it was that long. And some of it might be the fact that I'm on Xanax as opposed to lorazepam or Ativan. So I'm going to call my psych doc next week when they're in the office and ask if I can go back over to Ativan. And then I also was on the antibiotic for 8 days. I also went through a 7-day Monistat 7 therapy just to make sure that I wasn't going to get a yeast infection from the antibiotics. And so when all these different things are going on in your system, and then there was a lot of stress and trauma, a lot of stress and panic because we had family come in from out of state, and that's a good thing, but for me it's hard. But I got through it, and George and I talked about it last evening, and I'm able to articulate what I feel and what happens. And I think it would be a very informative video for people who have a BPD diagnosis or think that they might or might have a family member who has it. Something really nice, like last evening, his sister is also an artist, and she does like very eclectic paintings, and she was part of an art show, and so we had a chance to dress up a little bit. I should have got him to take a picture of me, but I had a black floral top on and these boho black pants and my heels with the lace on them, the boots with the lace. And we just were over there for like 45 minutes to an hour to see her showing and look at all the other artists' paintings, and just to get out and do something a little different. So that was very nice, and she was so glad that we were there and we showed up and we were there to support her. And that made me feel good. So it was bad, and then it wasn't bad. But a couple of my friends that I reached out to helped me more than they know. And there's some people I didn't reach out to because I didn't want it to be more of a trigger for them. So my hope now is, since I have no antibiotics, I have one UTI test strip left. I'm going to wait a week because today's Saturday, so next Saturday I'm going to test again. After using these things for a full week, I'm going to test again and see if I'm still testing positive. These are supposed to do something like, I think it's so that bacteria doesn't bind to the bladder, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to give it a real go. I'm drinking a ton of water. I'm exercising. I feel good. I feel okay. I'm definitely a little bit achy from the treadmill, and I was coming in last night. I had my boots on, my heels were like this. I had to wear a really higher heel because my pants need to be hemmed up, and I don't have a sewing machine anymore, and I really don't have an interest in buying a sewing machine because I know I'm hardly ever going to use it. But I stepped into, like, not really a hole, but a lowering of the ground out front, and I turned my ankle a little bit. It was sore this morning, but it's much better now. It's perfect now. So we have to go to Home Depot. We have to get some PVC pipe for the coffee tables that I ordered. The coffee tables, I swear, are like this high. If you were 2 years old, it would be a perfect coffee table. So George is going to get PVC pipe, and he's going to make the coffee table size that I want, the two of them, the height that I want them, but we need to get the pipe. So that's it for now. It's a whole lot of information all at once, but I wanted to try and get things in. There's still so much that I really want to talk about. The BPD episode, the mood regulation episode. I have to try and watch my words because it's important how we talk about something that we're going through with mental health, and explain what I feel and how strongly I feel it. And so I'm going to go for now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the people who have been there for me. I'm going to get over into Messenger tonight. I didn't get there yesterday or the day before because things were really not good. And but I'm going to get there yet this evening, see who's over there, see who I need to talk with. And so if you're over there, know I'll get there. I promise I'll get there. And for Lisa, I did send you my email address. I haven't seen anything come up, so I did send you that, but I'll check over on Messenger and see if you're there. So everybody take care. I'll talk to you soon.